UTI.
Na assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mtazamaji pale nyumbani, kama idea yetu kila siku ya Jumatano tunajumuika kwa pamoja ili tupate kuarifiana na kupata kufunzana pale nyumbani, tukizungumza na vijana kutoka sehemu mbalimbali. Leo ikiwa ni siku ya Jumatano, tunakukaribisha kwa mida yetu ni saa 4 hapo. Tutakuwa tunazungumza pamoja, tunalonga na wewe na vile vile tunakupa fursa wewe mpenzi mtazamaji pata kusema na sisi kwa kupitia nambari zetu ambazo ziko chini katika screen yako, na vile vile tupigie simu ukipata kuuliza swali lolote ambalo ungependa kuuliza. Ndani ya studio, jina langu ni Gaddafi Yasin, na pia siko peke yangu na wageni ambao wameungana na mimi, ambao tutakuwa tunajulishana zaidi masala za organization kwa makundi ambazo vijana wanatengeneza pale katika mitaa zao. Tutakuwa ni wenye kufahamishana na kuzungumza masala kama haya. Ndani ya studio siko peke yangu, nina Anzal na niko na Jamil. Watakuwa natueleza, watakuwa natufunza. Kunradhi kama jina nitakuwa labda nimetaja vibaya, watakuwa ni wenye kutueleza jina lao, lakini kwa sasa niwapishe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Na vipi hali zenu?
Alhamdulillah, tuko salama.
Naam. Maybe if I may start with you, Anzal. Yeah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How do you do?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. We really thank you so much for coming today to our show. We are all speaking about the youth at the community there, because we find most of the youth, they are doing different activities at different places, and we really thank God today for you guys for coming for our show. It's a teen show, a youth show, and we are telling you welcome and welcome once again. Are you
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, and one, maybe if I start with you, maybe tell me something about your organization, the name of organization, and why you really started the organization.
Okay, so we're not exactly an organization, we're just a youth group, and it's called Connect.
Okay.
And the main reason for this is, I would say, my grandmother. She's my main inspiration behind this. Growing up, I would watch her. She created this group called Ndugu Wapenda Nayo when she came to Nairobi.
Wow.
And what they would do is every Ramadan they would have distributions for monthly groceries, and they would go and give them to different places, South B, Kibera, a lot of different places. And I used to accompany her and my dad when they used to go. And growing up, that instilled this value in me for always wanting to do something for the community.
Wow, and that is nice. And maybe if I come to you, Jamil, maybe explain something about your organization too, so that people may get to understand. Who is Jamil and what's the name of your organization?
My name is Jamil Mohammed, and it's also a youth group. It's called HJR Squad. I started this group when I was in high school, while I was the school president.
Yes,
During that time,
Jamil, I can cut you off because of some technical problem, but I'll get back to you, Anzal. Maybe try to explain to us what are some of the activities that you guys are doing or taking place at your organization, because mainly, or we find that many organizations, they have different activities that they do back there.
All right, so for us, we dabble in a bit on everything. When we started, we would mainly focus on orphanage visits, and then we started working with other organizations. We would offer ourselves as volunteers for them. So we went for sanitary towel drives, we've done tree planting, we've done cleanup drives, food drives, a couple of residential projects. We had one with the Young Muslim Association in Kangundo.
Okay.
And we're starting to have our own projects as well that we organize. So one of them is we're doing a first aid training soon, sometime in August. I will share a little bit more information about that later on.
Well, and that is really nice, and I think that your organization is really doing great job. And maybe if we come back to where that you told me that you're distributing sanitary towels to these kids or these people who really need them, where exactly do you guys go around and distribute them? Because you find people from Kibra, maybe you've not reached out on them, and we know this is a place, or not Mandera, I'm sorry, from these other places, we say Mitaya, Mabanda, these places. Where can these guys find you people in case they need one?
Okay, well, we can share our contact information because we don't have a website or anything as yet, but
Yeah.
we're working on that.
Mhm.
Our sanitary towel drives, we've done 2 so far.
Mhm.
One of them was in Kivere itself. Yes,
Okay.
we go to places like that.
Okay, okay.
That's our main focus, actually, to go there. And another one was in Kahawa West, where there were 3 schools. So we went to all 3 schools. We met in one place, and then we had a sanitary towel drive and also a bit of a fun day with them, because it's not about just charity. We also want to have fun with ourselves and the people that we're interacting with.
Wow, and that's nice. And I think you have a story on how this organization started before we continue so far. Maybe kindly explain to us, because you've told me earlier then you wanted to go and visit, what's the name of the place?
A New Life Home Trust. It's an
Yeah,
orphanage.
kindly explain to people how you started this organization, because you find at the community, most of the people, all some youth, they're trying to find out on how they can start an organization, thinking that they have to go to some extent or they should have money in order for them to have this organization or a youth group. Kindly try to tell them or explain to them how you started, and I think they'll be shocked and surprised.
I think there's a lesson in this, because it's something that I had wanted to do for a really long time growing up, but I would always put it off because a couple of people, like, you know, they would say we're busy and stuff. So one day I decided that I'll just get a couple of my friends. We were about like 3 or 4 of us, and I told them that we'll go and visit an orphanage. It's called New Life Home Trust. It's actually just at Lenana Road. So we went there, and I knew that we're just 3 people, but then when we actually showed up, we're about 23 people that came. And seeing this big number, I saw that a lot of people are interested in what I'm interested in doing, and that basically marks the beginning of Connect, because I realized that if we all work together, then it's easy. As long as you have the will, the funds will come. As long as you take the initiative to start, everything just falls into place.
Wow, and that's very nice. And I think for anyone who maybe thinks that starting an organization or a youth group, it's very hard for him or her, I think you can have the same impact. I think it's all about giving to the society, getting out there, understanding for your own, and try to give back, because it's all start by love. After love, you'll do what people want, and I think you can start and run your own organization. If I get back to you, Jamil, one-on-one, please kindly explain to us who is Jamil in that organization, and what made you start this organization, you two?
My name is Jamil Mohammed. I'm the founder of HJR Squad.
No.
I started this group when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school, I was the school president, so I felt like I needed to leave something behind, because I was a leader, and as a leader you have to do something great for your people. So I decided to create this group, and during the time we were in school, I didn't know it will become something big. So after school, it was also there, and I said, why not continue with it if it's doing something good?
Okay, and I think that's very nice. I'm getting back to you, Anzal. Kindly, you've told us that you've been distributing sanitary towels, you've planted trees, you've associated yourself with other organizations. In terms of planting trees, and we see that's one way of maintaining environment, and it's another way of making our environment to look nice and pretty or beautiful. Kindly explain to us, how many times have you planted these trees?
Okay, as far as I can remember, about 3 times. We had one in Namanga with YMA, Young Muslim Association. We had one in Garissa, and we also did a little bit of tree planting in Ndakaini Dam, which was also one of the initial projects that we did. It was a collaboration with I don't remember the name, it was a really long time ago. But yeah, we've done quite a bit. And when it comes to tree planting, there's many different ways you can do it. Like you can do strategic medicinal tree planting depending on the location. Trees that would ward off mosquitoes, and then we also have like the fruit tree planting, which we like to do for the orphanages because it sustains the orphanage and it also gives them a source of income because they can sell the fruits, the excess that they have. And we also have just trees like in the national park where you can have it for oxygen because we have a lot of pollution right now. And when it comes to environment, I personally think, I'm not attacking anyone, but I think that it's better that you do things like this rather than like the recent rally people went and you could see that a lot of animals were kind of endangered because the cars were going really fast. So 1 or 2 of them could have been hit. So I feel like activities like this would be better than our youth going for rallies. But again, I'm not attacking anyone.
Okay. And I think that's very nice in terms of planting trees, because that's one way of maintaining our environment and making things look prettier, because that's one way tunasema mazingira yetu ni kijani kibichi, na tunafurahi sana tukiona vijana kama hawa wanajitokeza na kufanya mambo kama haya katika jamii. Na ingao ama ujapokuwa una swali pale nyumbani na kupisha na kupatia fursa vile vile upate kusema na mimi, kwa kuwa leo kiangalia show imekuwa moto sana, kizungu mkuti, lakini nayo hivyo tutasonga mbele ili tupate kusukuma gurudumu hili, tupate kukufanikisha wewe na tukupate kukuelimisha wewe pale nyumbani. Pata kutupigia simu, nambari zetu ziko chini katika screen yako, na vile pata kuzungumza na sisi. Vijana hawa wamejitokeza kutoka sehemu mbalimbali, wamekuja kuungana na sisi kutuelimisha ili kutufaidisha kutokamana na jambo moja au jingine. Na kukaribisha wewe pale nyumbani upate kusema na sisi, kwa kuwa nasema mgeni amefika na hatuna budi bali kumwambia karibu sana na apate kusema na sisi. Labda tu nikirudi katika upande wako Jamil, upate kutueleza zaidi kuhusiana na masala ya kundi lako. Nasema vipi? Na kidogo tu Jamil, nitakukata kidogo kwa kuwa tuna shida kidogo ya mitambo, lakini tutakuwa wenye kukurejea na utakuwa unatueleza zaidi, kwa kuwa labda bahati ndio hii ingiani. Lakini tutarudi kwako tu Anzal, pale whereby mlikuwa mnafanya mambo mingi zaidi katika kundi lenyu, mkifanya mambo moja au nyingine, lakini kwa sasa naelezwa na mwelekezi wangu kuwa nipate kuchukua mapumziko mafupi, na baada ya muda usiokuwa mrefu tutakuwa tunarejea na mengi zaidi. Usiondoke.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. Verse of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداع إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون.
Kuna faida gani twapata tukimjua Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
nabii mwenye ushawishi mkubwa duniani?
Tukizikwa tukitiwa kaburini tutaulizwa haya maswali matatu: man rabbuk, ma dinuk, man nabiyuk.
Sheikh Jamaluddin anakupa simulizi.
Huwezi kumpenda mtu usiyemjua
na kutambua sunna zake,
lakini ukimjua na ukimtambua Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mapenzi yako yatazidi.
Ufahamu Rasulullah, familia na maswahaba wake. Tazama sira ya Mtume kila Jumatatu saa 1 jioni kwenye Horizon TV. On the next episode,
Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam asema, man ja'ala hammuhu hamman wahidan, yule ambaye atakayefanya fikra yake, mawazo yake na hata waswasi yake, kitu ambacho anachofikiria ni juu ya hamu moja, fikra moja, wazo moja, naye ni hamul akhirah, kufikiria juu ya akhirah, Allah tabaraka wa taala ataweza kumtosheleza na humumu dunia, yani ataweza kumfungulia milango ya khairi.
Quote of the day. Ali bin Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu said, "Hate no one, no matter how much they have wronged you. Live humbly, no matter how wealthy you become. Think positively, no matter how hard life is. Give much, even if you have been given little. Keep in touch with the ones who have forgotten you, and forgive who has wronged you. And do not stop praying for the best for those you love."
Pearls of Wisdom.
Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu reported that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "The believer is not he who eats his fill while his neighbor is hungry."
بسم الله الحمد لله والثناء لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hadithi yetu ya wiki hii ni hadithi ya Abdullah ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhu iliyopokewa katika Jami' Tirmidhi wa Sunan Abi Daud wa Ibn Majah wa Sahahahu al-Albani anna an-nabiy sallallahu alayhi wa sallam qala ma min ayamin al-amalu as-salihu fihinna ahabbu ila Allah min hadhihi al-ayam al-ashr. Asema Bwana Mtume sallallahu alayhi wasallam, hakuna siku ambazo mja atafanya amali njema yenye kumfurahisha Mwenyezi Mungu kuliko mja kufanya amali njema katika hizi siku 10 za Dhulhijja. Faqalu ya Rasul Allah wala aljihadu fi sabilillah. Masahaba kauliza, Bwana Mtume, hata mtu alienda jihad atakuwa ameshindwa na mtu ambaye alifanya khairi katika hizi siku 10? Faqala sallallahu alayhi wasallam wala aljihadu fi sabilillah. Hata mtu alienda jihadi atakuwa ameshindwa na mtu aliyefanya khairi katika hizi siku 10, illa isipokuwa rajulun, mtu ambaye kharaja binafsihi wa mali falam yarji' min dhalika bishay, isipokuwa mtu ambaye alienda jihadi kwa nafsi yake na mali yake, na katika hayo mawili hakuna kilichorudi. Nafsi yake alikufa katika jihad na mali yake ikaishia huko. Ahibati fillah, hizi siku 10 za Dhulhijja ni siku za kufanya amali njema na ni siku za kumfurahisha Mwenyezi Mungu. Je, utamfurahisha Mola wako? Ahsantum wa jazakumullahu khairan.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our dear viewers back at home, we really thank you so much for keeping with Horizon TV. Welcome back. Yes, inside the studio I'm not alone. Kama nilivyoeleza, Ndani ya studio tuko na Anzal na vile vile tuko na Jamil ambao tunazungumza masala ya organization, vijana pia ku give back to their communities. Kwa hao ni vijana ambao wamejitolea kwa mali, kwa juhudi zao zote ili wapate kuelimisha jamii na wapate kusaidia katika njia moja au nyingine. Kabla tujachukua mapumziko, nilikuwa nazungumza na Anzal. Alikuwa anatueleza masala ama zile ni mara ngapi wamepata kupanda miti katika sehemu mbalimbali pale walikokuwa wakienda, na amepata kutueleza. Na labda tu tukirudi tu katika upande wake Anzal, if I may ask you, what are some of the challenges that you're getting in your organization?
Okay, so mostly I would say consistency and flexibility, because all of us are high school students or university students, and when we want to have a trip, we want to plan a project, it normally clashes with maybe like term dates or something of that sort. So sometimes it's not very easy to plan, we have to try and find a way around that. But other than that, I think it's a learning process for us. We learn as we go.
Oh, and that's very nice, because if I may ask, may you find some of challenges whereby these youths whom you are engaging yourself with, they are misbehaving, because you find in most organizations discipline is not there, and how do you deal with cases of discipline?
So far, we haven't had an issue with discipline, because everyone that's part of Connect, we're united so far, so we don't have an issue with discipline. Everyone knows what is expected of them and what to do.
Well, and that's very nice. If I come back to you, Jamil, kindly explain to us. Most of the time the mic was cutting off, but I think now it will be doing okay. Jamil, kindly tell us what is your organization dealing with, and why did you start that organization?
My organization mainly deals with providing for the needy and visiting orphans, and sometimes we take trips and have fun. I started this group when I was in high school, while I was the school president. During that time, I felt like a leader, and as a leader, I felt like I needed to leave something behind. So I started this group. When I started it, it became a success. Then we finished high school. After finishing high school, it was also there, it was doing something, so I decided to continue doing it, but we mostly were private. Now we want to go public.
Wow. And I think that's very nice. In terms of giving back or helping the needy, we find that in terms of Ramadan, most of the organization and majorly Islamic organization, these are the times that they are giving back to the community, trying to help people. Do you guys do the same?
Yes, we do.
And how?
We collaborate with other groups that do the same. For example, last Eid, after Ramadan, we collaborated with admins group and did a fun activity with the orphans. So they felt happy during Eid, like without their parents, like other kids have fun.
And I think that's very nice. Speaking about, you started organization in 2017. You've told me still you've not launched it. What are the plans?
We're planning to launch it during this Eid al-Adha. We're planning to launch it. Yeah.
And in terms of launching it, how are you going to do it? Because we find the most of the organization which have started that they are not launching the organization. We are just starting and moving. If you ask any chairman or any founder of a certain group, they're telling you that we started in 2017 and boom, now we are there. How are you going to do it? In terms of, are you going to invite people? Are you going to do it alone, with your group? Or how are you going to do it?
We're inviting everyone to come to our launch, which will be on Ayan's Foundation, an orphan's home. We'll be doing it there with the orphans. Wow. And everyone is invited.
And that's, I think since you started in 2017, it's a long journey for you people. What are some of the challenges that you guys are also facing on your side?
The challenges that I face the most is the youth. They're mostly maybe in school or they're busy doing something. So they don't have the time to come and participate.
Wow, and I think that's so nice. And I think, Anzal, you can explain to us the picture there. I think that is one activity that you guys were doing, eh? Yeah, you kindly explain to us, where is that place?
Okay, I think the picture should be team building activity. It was a family get together, but like when I do something, my family is very supportive. So everyone got the t-shirts. Everyone at home actually bought the t-shirts to support my cause.
Yeah.
So we just went out like to spend the day. Those t-shirts actually were part of our fundraiser earlier this year, where we sell the t-shirts so that the profits that we make from those t-shirts go into funding the next future project, which, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be a first aid training. We're making it more accessible for the youth.
Yeah, speaking about the t-shirts, I think that's where you guys are getting your funds from, and I think that's one way, or that's where you're getting your funds. I want you to explain to us, or someone who is watching you back there at home, because you're doing great things to the society. Where do you mainly get your funds from? One is by selling your t-shirts. Another one is from?
Another one is a couple of well-wishers that sponsor our causes, and also a couple of us in the group, those of us that are mostly active, we contribute a little bit so that we can push our cause forward. But mainly, we're thinking of having more income-generating projects this year, so that we don't have to constantly be going to sponsors.
Wow, and that's very nice. And I think in terms of selling t-shirts, and I think the long sleeve is 1,200, right?
Yes.
What about the short sleeve?
Short sleeves is 800.
And I think it's very nice kwa yule ambaye anatutazama pale nyumbani na labda ungependa kuwasaidia vijana hao katika kujiendeleza katika ratiba yao ya kila siku. Itakuwa ni bora zaidi ukijitokeza na upate labda tu kununua t-shirt yako, kwa t-shirt zao ni bora na ni nzuri zaidi. Nitakuwa ni mwenye kukuonyesha hapa katika studio tutapokuwa tunaendelea na mazungumzo yetu hapa ndani. Nikirudi kwako Jamil, labda katika utueleze katika masala ya changamoto umetueleza, nataka utueleze, je, mnapata vipi funds zenyu?
Funds zetu mostly niko na partners, na partner na wao na members contribution, ndo tunapata funds zetu.
Okay, and I think these partners, are they helping you in terms of cash, or they are helping you in terms of giving you ideas and everything? Because you find in most organizations we have partners who give us ideas and we have others who donate for us funds and everything. How are they helping you?
We have both of helping in funds and both of ideas, so both sides I'm helped by my partners.
Okay. And I think for that youth who would really like to join you people, where could they wanaweza kuwapata wapi?
Mostly I'm located in Park Road, so if you come there and ask for me, Park Road Mosque, you'll find me there.
Na vizuri sana kwa Jamila atueleza kwa yoyote ambaye labda angetaka kuwatafuta ama angetaka kupatana naye, waende Park Road pale Park Road Mosque, na utakuwa ni mwenye kupatana na vijana hawa na watakuwa ni wenye kutueleza zaidi katika masala za t-shirt. Labda tu Anzal, kindly explain to us the story of your t-shirts.
Okay, well, the story of our t-shirts, we're actually very inspired by the work that Yes Theory does. They go around and basically they have this motto that is seek discomfort. And inspired by the work that they do, I decided to have a merch so that we can have like our own community of people that support Connect. Because like I said, it's not just about the charity. We also want to empower youth and let them network with like-minded people so that they're exposed to different things. A lot of us right now, like especially now during the COVID period, everyone is staying at home, no one knows what to do. So with Connect, I intend to like let them go out and have fun and enjoy the charity aspect of it, because giving to someone else kind of, it gives this sense of like appreciation of what you already have, what like you have been blessed with that other people don't. So with the t-shirts, it's more just to have us set like a community of people that support Connect.
And that's very nice. And maybe if someone needs that t-shirt, where can he or she find you from?
Okay, you can reach us out on our Instagram or Facebook. It's connect.ke with connect with a q.ke.
Connect with Q. Okay, that's very nice. And in case of any phone number, maybe someone will say, I want to speak with you one-on-one. Maybe the number for the organization.
Okay, well, mine. Can you share it later? Okay, I'll just tell it to you. It's 07399494421.
Yeah, kabisa. And I think before we clear the show, I'll get one t-shirt for myself and for my photographer here beside me. We'll also be speaking about that later. And I'm getting back to you, Jamil, katika masala ya kundi yenu na vitu vingi ambavyo mnafanya pale, na labda tu tueleze tu mnapatikana pia nyinyi wapi. Umetueleza pale Park Road, na labda mtu yoyote angetaka kukutana na nyinyi katika mtandao wa kijamii hatawapata wapi?
tuko na Instagram page inaitwa HJR4_squad.
Nampata tu kutueleza tu pale Facebook, na labda mtu yote labda angetaka kuzungumza na nyinyi kupitia nambari zenyu ni zipi?
Yangu ni 0716110137.
And do you guys have t-shirts for your organization?
Yes, we do.
Ingekuwa vizuri zaidi kama leo pia ungekuwa umebeba na umekuja na hapa. Na jamii, labda tuzungumzie tu masala wale vijana ambao labda tunapata kuwa wako na utovu wa nidhamu. Kwa vijana wale pia wanataka kujiingiza katika kundi kama hama, wako pale katika kundi yenu. Je, mnapata vipi kushirikiana nao, ama discipline yenu pale katika kundi yenu iko vipi?
For now sijapata issues na discipline kutoka kwa members wetu, lakini iko itabidi tu mtu asiendelee na hii tabia tena.
Na je, ikipatikana anaachishwa ama kuna suspension, unakaa nyumbani ama ni vipi? Mnafanya vipi?
Tunaweza mpa suspension, lakini haijafika, lakini nafikiri ikifika tutapeana suspension ama fine.
Ni vizuri sana. Na je, mmekaribisha watu, na ule mtu yote angetaka kujiunga, labda amesema mimi hii group ya Jamil imenibamba sana, ningetaka niungane na wao ili tufanye nao shughuli nyingi. Na wengine wanauliza, kwa nini tu shughuli hizi mnafanya mbali, amwendi kwa mitaa za mabanda? Kisa na maana?
Tunaelekea kwa mitaa za hizo mitaa. Tunaelekea huko. Na tutakuita tukienda huko.
Tutakuwa ni wenye kufurahia zaidi, labda tutakuwa ni wenye kuwatembeza na kuwaeleza mengi zaidi. La kwa kundi nyingi labda zinasema zina uoga kabisa pale mitaani. Na labda the same question comes to you, Anzal. Most of the people, they are saying that you are only taking your activities to other places, but it's not coming to their areas, and they feel like they deserve and they need these stuffs. What can you tell them?
We're coming soon. Most of our projects, they start with like when someone tells us like, okay, let's go to this place. So we've been to Kibera, we've been to Kahawa West, we've been to Namanga. I've personally gone to Garissa as well. It's just that we haven't found out yet, but we do some research before we go to a place, see if like it's safe for us and what we can do for the place, so that we don't just go there empty-handed. You know, sometimes you can just go and take food, and then you go there and you realize that, okay, this place maybe needs a renovation. So we do a little bit research first before we go. That's why we're taking a little longer to reach you, but we will be there soon.
Naam, kwa wale wote ambao labda walikuwa wanauliza, tutege tu pale kwa njiani na katika harakati, na watakuwa ni wenye kufika pale. And maybe if we speak something about motivation, because most of the youth are the one watching this show, what can you motivate them with?
Okay, I'll tell you from my own experience. I would say if you want to do something, just go for it. Because a lot of times when you start to try and look for someone to support you or have like discussions or something, you'll always be put down and you'll always feel like demotivated to do it. So if you just take the first step, everything else just falls into place. I've tried so many times where before I do something, I would ask people, and I realize when I do that, I get really demotivated because they'll say, okay, this is going to be a difficulty, you're not going to be able to do it. But if you just take the first step, it just works out. Everything falls into place, inshallah.
Oh, and I think that is very nice. And same to you, Jamil. For those who want to join you, or maybe, what word of motivation can you tell these youths who are watching you from home?
I'm welcoming anyone who wants to join us. And my motivation that I always use is that if you want something, go and get it. Don't wait for it to come to you. Just do it. And like Anzal said, take the first step and everything will fall into place.
Yeah, and I think that's very nice and very good, because you find now most of the youths wameamua kujitolea, ama they've decided they want to do something for themselves, but they are finding it very hard. And we can speak about this incident that happened, and it's on our screens days and days, that this Hafsa, the girl who was kidnapped and everything, she is a businesswoman. And what can you say about that, and what can you advise people out of that? Because you find it was her friend who came and made they had a rapport, which the friend told Hafsa that they want to start a business of selling watermelon. What can you tell people in terms of friendship? Because an organization brings people together. That's where I'm finding my friend. How can I get a good friend? Ansal.
How you can get a good friend is just for you to identify who is good for you and who isn't. There was a story that my dad told me when I was really young about a perfume seller and a coal miner. And this friend, whenever he goes to the perfume seller, he would always come out, even if he doesn't purchase any perfume, he would come out and he would smell nice. But every time he goes to the coal, no matter what he does, he would always have some stains. And basically the moral of that story is how you can select your friends, because obviously in the beginning you wouldn't know how someone is. It's once you get to know them that you realize how they think and what they're into. And once you realize, that's when now you should distance yourself from the friends, because like in Hafsa's scenario, her friend is the one that got her into trouble. So you need to find friends that are good for you. That's why, like with Connect, we do this so that we can empower people, so that you get good friends and you do good things. Not that there's always a bad fruit everywhere you go. You just need to identify who is good for you and distance yourself from who isn't.
Wow, that's very nice. And Jamil, what can you tell us?
I just think you need to be careful with the friends you work with. A friend who is good for you, you will know. He will take you forward. But a friend who is not, you will also know if you use your mind correctly.
Okay. And I think that's very nice. And in terms of trust, trust, because trust comes in, and in your organization you need trust. In terms of selecting people to join your organization, what criteria are you guys using, Anzal?
For me, it's we have some interviews. Actually, recently we had a selection for the upcoming board members. So what I look at is not experience or knowledge in a certain field, it's more the drive. Because when I started, I didn't know what I was doing. As I'm going right now, I probably don't have an idea, but like I have the drive. And that's what we're looking at. If someone looks like they're focused and they want to improve something, that's how we select them. So even if you don't know, but you're willing to learn, that's what we're going for. And obviously self-discipline, because you can have the drive, but then you can get lazy sometimes. I mean, there's a couple of days where you feel like demotivated, but as long as you have that drive and you want to go forward, that's what we're looking at. So if you have the drive, you're free to join us.
Wow, that's very nice. And if I come to you, Jamil, kindly explain to us what criteria are you guys using in terms of recruiting your recruits to join your organization?
The recruits, I normally welcome everyone. During the process of the activities is when I get to know each person. And I also place my trust to Allah to take care of everything.
Oh, and I think that's very nice. And I think for anyone who wants to start an organization, kwa vijana hawa ambao tuko nao hapa ndani ya studio, watakuwa ni kielelezo chema pale mitaani ama pale manyumbani. And I think when I come to you, Anzal, for any person who wants to start an organization, what word of motivation can you tell them so that they can start and move forward? Because some says, I don't have money, I cannot do that. I don't have money, or I don't have that passion. Why? So kindly tell us, for any person who wants to start an organization from any area, what can you tell them?
Okay, so when you intend to start an organization, first I would suggest that you look for the issue and then see how you can find a solution to that. Don't just start just because it's the trend. Because right now a lot of organizations are starting, but then they're not going very far because they haven't thought it through. So when you're starting, first look for the issue that you want to find a solution to. And then second, do a lot of research, because that's what helps you a lot. And when it comes to the funds, like I said earlier, when you just take the first step, everything falls into place. You may not feel like it's going to work out. Like a lot of times when we were having our fundraisers, we would feel like we start off and then nothing's happening for a very long time. But then right towards the end, we'll get like an influx of so much, like in-kind donations or monetary contributions as well. It just works out. You just have to place your trust in Allah, like Jamil said, and just take the first step. And then it all falls into place. Even when you feel like it won't, trust me, it will.
And coming to you, Jamil, yes, tell us.
I think you, like Anzal said, just take the first step. After you take the first step, everything will fall into place. And never give up, because there'll always be something to bring you down. But when you get there, just believe in Allah and always work hard.
And I think that's a very good motivation to everyone. And now we can see we are in a pandemic as at now. COVID-19 has done terrible things to people. Most of the people have lost their jobs. Most of the students are not going back to school because their parents don't have money to take them back to school, because the jobs or the activities that the parents were doing, it's no longer working again. And some people, in terms of their work, they are not getting back to work because of COVID-19 pandemic. You in an organization doing all of this, how do you manage organization with the pandemic, Anzal?
I know a lot of people complain about the pandemic, and I see why, but for me, I think it came as a blessing because we were actually more productive during COVID. Once it started, everyone was scared for the first couple of months, but then after that, we kind of adapted to the situation and we just started, you know, resuming our work. So during COVID, actually, it brought a lot of opportunities for us because we got to work with a couple of other organizations. We got to do quite a bit. Like our biggest and first like major sanitary towel drive, the one in Kahawa West, we did just in February, and we raised almost 100,000 for the schools over there. We got them masks, we got them pads, and we had like a fun day with them. So I think just try and look for the best, like look for the silver lining, because there's always good in every negative. There's always some good. So just focus on being positive, but also you have to look at it from a realistic point of view, because you know it can't always be clouds and fairy tales and unicorns. You have to look for the good in it and work towards making it even better.
And I think that's very nice. And in terms of you, Jamila, kindly explain to us, because we find this pandemic has hit everyone. So how do you guys manage? And you've told us that you're going to launch it, which means that your organization is pretty doing well. So kindly give us the secret. How do you do?
During this COVID-19 situation, many people suffered. But for me, I took it as a blessing because, like I said before, the main problems we had with the members was they had school and stuff. They were always busy. But during this COVID-19 pandemic, everyone was free, and we worked together to make this possible.
Wow, and I think that's very nice. Out of our gentlemen here and our lady who are here with us on studio today, and I think I'm getting back to you viewers back at home, and Anzal, you can explain to them, just tell them how much is the t-shirts, so that they get to know. And for anyone who would really want to purchase them, the numbers, Anzal is going to give it to you. You can communicate and you'll get your t-shirt. Anzal.
Okay, so to reach out to us, I think the easiest would be Instagram. That's where we're most active. Like I said earlier, it's connectwithaq.ke. For the t-shirts, we have two kinds. The one that you see on your screen is the long sleeves, which goes for 1,200, and the short sleeves goes for 800. And we started this just earlier this year. We're going to have one drop, but like if you're interested, you can just contact us, and then we'll see where to go with you from there. And as we go forward, we will also be having more merch for different themes. One of the ideas that I have is I want to do a little bit more for mental health issues. So we're going to have something in that line, but not anytime soon, just in the near future.
I think that's very nice. And speaking about, I've seen for the young ones, for the kids, how much is that? Because I've seen the young girls, they have their own design too. How much is that?
It's the same price. As long as it's short sleeves or long sleeves, it's 700 or 1,200.
Oh, that's very nice. And I think we are getting to an end, and maybe for the parting shot, Jamil, I'll start with you while we are closing the show, because I can see in terms of social media, everyone has their own supportive. We have Swabir Farouk saying our own Anzal. And I can see even Jamil, haujaachwa nje. Kuna wengi pia ambao wanakusifia hapa. Kuna mmoja anasema, do you think it is possible to integrate trees planting with more CSR projects and other events, including the rally? I think that's a question he's trying to ask in terms of planting trees. And I think that question goes straight to you, but more of the questions and more of the comments are coming to you guys. Everyone is just wanawapigia makofi wakisema hongera sana kwa kazi nzuri ambayo mnafanya. Tukimalizia tu, Jamil, maneno yako ya mwisho tukifunga kipindi.
I just want to welcome all to my group, and if you want to do something, don't wait don't wait, just take the opportunity. And I'll leave you with this saying, aspire to inspire before you expire.
Vizuri sana. Anzal.
Before I go to that, what was the question about CSR and tree planting?
Yeah, so kidogo. So the question is, do you think it is possible to integrate trees planting with more CSR project and other events, including rally?
I think it's possible, yes. That would be actually a really good idea because, yeah, I think it would be a really good idea.
Because the guy who is asking, he is saying that since it was Safari Rally that should probably look into promoting reforestation. Speaking about, we have rally, we've seen people going to Naivasha, right? So I think that can be a very good platform in terms of promoting, in terms of growing trees and everything. So I think that's very nice. And I think you should focus on that because our President Uhuru Kenyatta said that Kenya is going to participate in the rally up to 2026. So I think you can also look upon that so that in case of anything, you can also participate in it. Look for the ones ambao labda wanahusika, watawasaidia katika njia moja au nyingine. Sina budi bali kusema asante sana kwa wote ambao wako pale nyumbani wamepata kututazama na kuchangia katika mada yetu kuu. Kwa leo ilikuwa siku moto sana, lakini tunasema asante sana kwa kuwe pale nyumbani kututazama, na vile vile wale wote ambao wamesaidia ili kufanikisha kipindi hichi kukufikia wewe pale manyumbani, bila kuwasahau wale wote ambao wako pale nyuma, na vile vile kumsahau Faisal Artistic ambaye amekuwa na mimi hapa, na tutaonana Jumatano ijayo inshallah. Maasalam.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. On the next episode,
Mtume sallallahu alayhi wasallam asema man ja'ala hammuhu hamman wahidan, yule ambaye atakayefanya